Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of Dice Trays Action. Thank you for joining us. Uh, Before we get started tonight, I wanted to give a couple quick shout outs. First to Lost Haven Art for their amazing work, both on our logo and on the assets for our overlay. You can find them at Lost Haven Art over on Twitter. Next to Ampersand Productions and their weekly show, Homebrew Havoc. Homebrew Havoc is an actual play stream that focuses on community collaboration. It combines the wonderful creations of clever creators in the community into one large open world. Tune in every Thursday to see how Callum, Shiv, Tony, Ailey, and the Game Master Paul survive the world of Antirso. Lastly, I want to give a quick shout out to The Infinite Construct, a wonderful YouTube channel whose creator has been a huge boon in helping me work out some of the things I've needed to prep for this campaign. Definitely go check them out if you're interested in anything Numenera or A5E. With that done, let's get to tonight's session of DTA.
Woo!
See, there's the energy I want. Great. So, would you guys like to recap for me?
Sure.
Good.
So last time that we were here, we sat down and attempted to have a meal and a drink at what was her name? Alice?
Annie.
Annie's Ale House.
Annie's ale house. The swill she brought me was not wine. But that is okay. She provided us with some information, telling us that we might be interested in searching through Old Wall or the Quiet Night Tavern for more information about Lena's son. After that, Kunskap did some weirdness and spoke with some rats, which is his prerogative, I guess. Different strokes. Anyway, after that, we gathered ourselves up. I gave some coin to Lena so that she could bathe her body. And then we went to the guild, and it was very large and very busy. And we were able to get some rooms there and talk to one of the guild members about several concerns, including that we should be very wary of our pies if we go to the tavern. For now, we are staying the night, and in the morning we must go and speak with the Silver Hand and seek out several things, like an alchemist who is currently in the bottled and gold establishment and seems to be the only alchemist available currently. Yeah, and that's about it for now.
You also learned that the owner of the bottle in gold.
Oh, right. The owner of the bottle and gold is a person named Baron Hagley, whose son also went missing, much like poor Lena.
And it was suggested that perhaps his son was not the greatest of people, even though the Baron does seem to be quite kind.
The fruit that rots on the branch.
All right. And then, after Kunskap and Akshad took up residence on the lawn and spent some time discussing with each other and reading some interesting patrons' fortunes, everyone turned in for the night. Oh, and washing yourselves off from the unfortunate result of the encounter you had with some strange fish monsters earlier. Everyone went to bed, called it a night. So now we awake on the 19th of Green Spring. It is a cool 70 degrees, despite it being rather overcast, and there is not a breeze in sight. As you awaken, there is the sound of songbirds, although it is, for Kunskapanaksha, drowned out by the busy streets filled with people walking to and from the guilds and throughout the rest of the financial district. The city, as is said, starts early. What would everyone like to do?
Well, I believe Kun Skapa Soka and their new friend Aksha will be packing up the tent that they slept on opposite sides of in the night previous and walking back to the entrance to meet their fellow compatriots.
Yuna will be moving away from the window that she stood at all night, from waking from her sleep. And she's going to check herself over and make sure there's no crust that she may have missed the night before.
It's like a little tiny bit that you can just sort of like scratch off easy enough.
Test out her joints and make sure there's no goop stuck in them. We're good. And then I'm gonna go and knock on Rory's door and see if he's up.
Wake up, enter the door. Morning.
Good morning.
Shall we check with the rest of our companions?
If that is what you wish.
Let's do so. Head over to the room Toby was staying at.
Toby opens the door. He has been up for a little bit as he got very well rested from his blessed nightcap and is ready like, hi.
Morning.
Good morning.
Let's head to the lawn and see if they got arrested.
Is
Okay,
it
then.
Sleep with Hunters on?
I don't know. With the way that the one guard treated us, I doubt sleeping in the middle of like the financial district is gonna get the go ahead, but here's hoping.
Yes, guards in Lysanthus seem not to have changed much in many years, for I was told long ago that they also had a stick up their butt then.
They do not seem to like your multilingual friend.
Yeah.
Well, he did hand some intestines. They did hand some intestines.
Guess head out to check on them.
Yeah. The guild hall is also relatively busy. People running to and fro, some with arms full of scrolls, merchandise, crates, and what have you, others just engaged in deep debate over any number of topics. You do, Brory and Girna. Yeah, Brory and Girna, the two of you overhear a bit of a debate over the sale of a few items and their actual value versus the value that they are being sold at. And the dispute is suggested to be settled at the Fighters Guild, which is a polite way of saying, do you want to take this outside? But otherwise, things seem fairly peaceful, as peaceful as they can be within the guild walls.
Girna slows down a bit and is supremely interested and hopes that there will be a duel.
Yeah, and it as you look over, it's just this dwarf bickering with a tabaxi, Maliko, with a Maliko, just back and forth over the value of a dagger. Eventually ending when the dwarf sort of throws a purse of gold at the Maliko and trudges off, grumbling under his breath.
Person?
Hmm?
Did you say through a person?
A purse. A purse.
Purse, okay.
He just picks up a nearby elf and flings them.
I don't think the dagger is worth that much.
Yurna deflates a little bit and just charges on.
Well, getting outside, you find yourselves not too far off from the lawn where Kunskap and Aksha have made their rest. And ahead of them, out to your left, you hear in the distance the sound of steel and iron meeting itself in what sounds like some sort of combat. Rory, you would know that you're close enough to one of the local adventurers guilds that it's likely just would-be heroes practicing their craft.
All right, nothing to be concerned.
No, yeah, no one seems to be panicked or shouting or running.
How's their technique?
You'd have to get much closer for that. It's just something you hear off in the distance.
Ah,
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, friends. Hi.
good morning. How was your sleep?
Very good. Aksha sat and meditated much. Had much thoughts. I have thoughts of pie person. Yes, pie person. Pie person. We should find this pie person who steals of pies. Because Lena, yes, Lena. She mentioned her son was selling pies.
Huh.
Maybe he knows something about disappearance of her son since he's pie thief.
That is not a bad line of thinking.
Yes.
What time is it about?
I'd say it's about 8-9 o'clock in the morning.
Toby agrees with this line of thinking. Find pies, find son. Find son, save mother. Stop monsters, save town. Save town, become heroes, get information. Information, Toby find alchemist. Find alchemist, save lakes. Toby goes home.
Yes.
Where are we supposed to find the pie person again?
At the Quiet Night Tavern.
Tavern and inn. That's in the Quiet Night is in East Seat near the yards.
Oh, then
That is not too far away from where we need to be going.
yeah.
Yes.
Um,
The place where you'll be meeting the Templar from the Knight Templar from yesterday is only a few blocks away. Sort of sandwiched between the yards and the giant sort of flower garden that is the back garden of the Dominostica.
I do suggest that to avoid any issues regarding time, since this guard seemed very particular of the specific hour of which they wanted to meet us, perhaps it would be prudent to deal with that first before gallivanting about the city.
Yes.
So we might have a couple of hours to waste. I suggest the rest of you break your fast, perhaps.
Well, the inn, I'm sure, has breakfast things, and that way you all could eat and we could ask questions.
I again suggest that because of the hours and the threatening gesture of the guard, that we don't get involved in anything else until that matter is completed.
How about we go to Eastgate Market, look for a bakery, and buy a pie to bait out this man? Then we can talk to the guard and go about the pie business.
Yes, and perhaps there will also be polish.
And fish.
We could probably stop by the docks on the way. They're more likely to have fish, I would assume.
Kunskap is going to look about the sky. Do they notice their companion anywhere nearby?
Not presently, no.
I will send a telepathic call for them when they are available.
Okay. So you reach out to them, and within, say, 10 minutes, you would see them flying past. Would you like to describe them?
The rest of the party, well, is it just the one or the whole flock?
Oh, are you summoning one or the whole flock?
I would summon one, but depending on their moods, they may wish to entertain themselves.
Just the one for now.
Flying down from the sky to land upon the shoulder of your robed companion is a very large black raven. This is, and Kunskap Soker will pause a moment for dramatic effect. This is Feathers.
Fezzes is
Spooky, I know.
your companion?
One of many.
Hello, Feathers. I am Toby.
And do you get, like, closer?
No.
Okay.
I would assume I'm not that far away from him.
No.
It's a big bird, right? Well, they're a big bird.
Kunskap Soker, of course, you may converse with them as you wish. I just have some business to attend to. If you have any questions, I can translate, of course. Feathers, when you have a moment, I was wondering if you could fly back home and ask who could have been sent to this city. Unaware of any losses in this area, but the normal messages were not left where they were supposed to be. This is Toby, by the way. Brory, Aksha, Girna. They will be my companions for a little while. Anyway, no rush, just when you can, my friend.
And after a moment, Feather sort of hops and then takes a step forward and flies away.
Kunskap Soker will watch Feathers fly away and then look back at the group and says, Beak is much more personable than Feathers.
Oh, there are more?
Yes.
How lovely.
Toby understands. Birds can be moody.
No, Moody is actually always joyous. He's a very annoying bird. So,
Right.
you are to break your fast, I suppose.
Let's head down through the docks into the market then.
Sure, yeah. So it's about an hour's walk, give or take, getting from the financial district down back around the Dominestica through the lower quarter, through the Silver Docks to the East Seat Market. As you come around into the market proper, unless there's anything anyone wants to do before you get there.
Toby wanted to look for fish.
When we arrive in that area, if there are any types of like people selling fish or hauling fish, Toby's going to be keeping a lookout for any in particular things that are similar to the Fugi.
So as you get to the docks, there don't seem to be any shops there. It seems mostly to be storehouses, warehouses, things of that nature. But there are a number of people with what seem to be crates full of fish, hauling them back and forth. And there's a few different types. Nothing that looks particularly like what you're looking for. Although, if you were to stop and ask someone, they tell you that if you're looking for a place to have some fish, there's really only one place worth going to, and that is Snapper on a Stick.
And where is this snapper on a stick?
Snapper on a Stick is a sort of hut that you can find in the East Seat Market.
So as we head into the market area, Toby is going to be very interested in looking into this snapper on a stick place.
So as you reach the market, it is just loud and busy, and almost immediately upon stepping foot into the market proper, there are a dozen at least people immediately falling on the group of you, some with what look like fine clothing and others with rare and unique foods, spices, all sorts of things, little trinkets and toys, and all of these people, voices overlapping as they sort of swarm around, making a circle around you, making it very difficult to move forward in any particular direction. Each one sort of speaking over the next as they try and push their wares.
Can I just make a perception to make sure they're not going to try to take anything from us?
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
you can.
The first thing I was gonna say, is that first thing I do is grab my purse.
Perception.
That is absolutely a thing that you can do.
15 perception.
15 perception. You said you also wanted to do that?
I'm not like checking to make sure. I'm very blatantly grabbing my purse and holding it tightly.
Well, those are the two ways to go about preventing it, right? Is the I will watch for it, and the I will just say no. All right, give me a moment.
Just let me
Okay.
know if anyone.
Sure, yeah. So you're keeping an eye out for it. You hold your purse tight. Rory, I assume you're keeping an eye out for the group.
Not
Not
me
just for
specifically,
yourself.
but if like I can see anyone else like getting stuff taken. Yeah.
Sure.
Also, how is Aksha faring in this?
Oh yes, I imagine it
Mm.
must be very difficult for Aksha with just all these people.
I can barely see.
Unisop Soaker, since they have a newfound camaraderie of sorts, will offer their hand down to Aksha.
Oh, thank you. There's so many people,
And
and they're all so tall.
they put Aksha upon their heads so that Aksha can use the horns as handlebars.
What? This is so high up. I can see. We should go that way.
Fiona's gonna take her clockwork staff and then just use it to kind of push them out of the way.
Toby is gonna follow Girna because Toby has been smushed by the crowd. He feels very large and out of place in this and has never been surrounded by so many people.
Have I seen any attempts on any of us?
Give me one moment.
I'm deciding whether I want to roll or just keep my passive 16.
Well, so far, neither of you have noticed anyone trying to make for any slick moves. However, about 20 feet into the market, as you've begun to push your way through people, one of the people in this crowd seemingly stands out and pushes a little bit closer to the group of you. And it's this very tall, very lithe looking human male, and he pulls out what looks like a box, and in the box are just dozens and dozens of glass vials and bottles full of many different colored liquids. And he sort of just walks backwards, trying to keep pace with the group of you. And he's like, "Hello there. Would you like to try some of my miracle magic elixirs? They are the best elixirs. You will never find better elixirs anywhere on the market. Cures whatever ails you, and if you get lucky, it may do more. Looking for
Drake.
a particularly long night? Looking
Drake.
for..."
I need you to pause. Did you just say Nurgle's elixirs?
No. I said miracle magic elixir.
Oh, I heard Nurgle, and I was very concerned.
I would be concerned too.
We could do that too. That could happen. And he's just kind of like shaking the crate a little bit, and all of these like glass vials just clink and clank together.
Yeah, take a look at your wares.
Of course, I'm always happy to give a potential patron the chance to browse.
Kunsop Soaker takes one of the vials at random. Is this a Arcana or medicine check?
This you could do either. You will get different information from each, but you can do whichever you would like.
What if I do both?
Ooh, I'm gonna limit you to one for now.
Okay.
You pick up a sort of fat-bottomed, like, bottle with this bright green liquid. So, you sort of inspect it, and do you go to, like, open it or anything?
I open to smell, not to taste.
Sure. You open it, and it's this incredibly sort of sweet berry scent that sort of fills your nostrils. It's you taking a moment, kind of running through in your head what could make this particular set of colors and this particular set of smells leads you to two assumptions, really. Either this gentleman is entirely full of shit, or he has unwittingly stumbled on some kind of healing salve.
What does this one do?
This one, you have quite the keen eye. Not only will it restore your vitality, but if you use it properly, it can also allow you to temporarily run through, well, not water per se, but things perhaps less solid than the ground itself. Swamps, no problem. Soft snow, not an issue.
Is it magic?
Well, of course, why else would I call it the miraculous magical elixirs?
Fuck.
Can I incite that? Yeah,
Yeah, if you'd like.
I would like.
Yeah,
A little better. 16.
yeah, he's fully shit. Easily, definitely fully shit. He puts a hand into the box and pulls out a blue vial, and he goes, "If ever any of you have any lovely callers, you could always use one of these."
Laura, do you know the laws governing this specific town?
Oh, you're asking him?
From,
I'm
from
asking.
what I know,
Okay. I misheard.
there's a strong aversion to magic in the city.
What about quackery, I believe is the term.
Quackery?
Are you calling me a liar?
Charlatan.
Kuhnskapsoker rears back as if insulted by the very notion that they said any such thing.
Whoa! Whoa!
And says, I never, ever insinuated such a thing, sir. I was merely asking for my own purposes. Broy, please, if you can continue.
What would you like to know?
What would happen if one were to be found out that they are selling, perhaps, theoretically, hypothetically, perhaps, fake potions?
Would I be able to do like a history check to see if I know any swindling laws?
Sure. You could also just totally wing it if you want to. I don't mind.
Like also what?
You could also just totally wing it if you want to. I don't mind.
I want to know offhand anyway. So 19.
Sure. Usually it will end with an arrest. Sometimes, I mean, you have to be able to bring them in, and you have to be able to prove it, and you know.
Well, usually swindling someone is a minor crime, but you do understand the caution that this town has against magic, right?
Of course, I wouldn't.
I'm sorry. He wasn't speaking to you. Yes, I am very aware of that. Perhaps, though, if we were to...
Can I have that back, though? Just...
If one were to be caught with multiple times that they are trying to swindle someone at the same time, how many vials did you say you have, sir?
Oh, there are quite a few in here, and you are free to have your pick of the litter. All of them do something different. Honestly, some of them, I don't even know what they do. I just know they're good.
So, and Kuhnskapsoker starts...
I will need that one back, though, if you're not going to buy it.
Ignores them completely, starts counting the bottles, and
He
says,
reaches out to grab it.
takes it away. 20, 21, 22, 24. Would this be considered 24 different types of swindlerism, or is it one all in one package, my friend Brewery?
Well, if they were all the same vial, then yes, one offense, but
I'm going
this
to
man
roll
has
intimidation just to...
You can both do it. You can both roll.
Actually,
Man
intimidation.
has
do we want to do advantage? Do we want to do one with advantage?
yeah, I'll give you
Sure.
advantage.
Yeah.
I trust-
One of you can do like the help action, so the other one.
Yeah,
gets
because
advantage.
my charisma is not that high.
you think
Yeah.
my Christmas high?
Okay, what do you got?
I'm sitting on your head, so I'm going to intimidate along with you.
Fantastic.
Let the kobold roll the intimidation.
Okay, then I'll let what's Saksha doing? Just sort of like giving a stern look. Okay, I will allow. Okay, so because it's the two of you who have done the talking here, one of you has to roll it, but I will allow advantage because you're getting help from one, and +2 because you're getting help from Aksha.
Okay, I'll
So
roll.
yeah, one of you has to roll it, but you have advantage and +2.
I am. Yeah.
Oh well.
There we go. +2.
You know what? It's fine. I understand that sometimes people are worried about trying new things. You know what? Why don't you keep that one here? And he like hands up the blue vial to Aksha, and you can have this one too. Just take them free of charge, and you know if you are happy with the results, you can always come back. I'm around. Just ask for Ethan, and they'll help you find me. I'm
Do you have any other samples you would like to?
I.
Scott Soaker played this long con to get 2 free vials, and we're gonna get more. Here we go. Go ahead.
You wouldn't want me to go away empty-handed now.
He holds out the box. Just one.
I'm gonna grab 2. Oh, big fingers. Thank you.
Why don't you roll me D 2 percentage. 2%. Okay. So the first one you pull out is this like gold, just very large squared bottle. And then roll me one more. And make sure you mark these down.
Gold square bottle.
And the other one is a pink bottle that's shaped a little bit like a wolf's head.
Like a wolf head?
Yeah,
Wolf's head. Okay.
with pink juice in it.
Why, thank you.
Absolutely no. You have a good day, and you do remember where these came from. I'll be around if you want more. Bye.
Oh, we will remember.
He's by the time you respond, he's already sort of like melted back into the crowd, who have started to disperse a little bit, having seen you essentially out fence this gentleman.
Goonscop Soaker, for the first time anyone sees, turns to the rest of the group, and although there isn't a smile that they can see, there's a seeming different stance they are taking, of chest out, kind of proud, and just look like just kind of permeating a different feeling after that exchange.
You
I
just
wonder if they're poisonous.
I shall study them when we get back. Make sure that they aren't something that will kill us and keep our voices dead.
I turn to Girna and I'm like, Toby thinks they are the best shopper I've ever seen.
This is fair. That was a very good bargain.
Yes, very.
I'd say
Or
so.
buy 0, get 4 free. What else can you do?
Just need to.
It's usually these. I have traveled quite a lot, and it's usually individuals like this that you can actually get quite a bit out of to try to hide their indiscretions.
Should we not be turning them in?
Well, if it turns out he sold us poison and told us to drink it, sure. Until then, we're fine.
If they actually do something, though, he could have ties to an alchemist. So we don't know.
That's true, Toby. I'm sorry. I could have tried to press them for more information along what you're looking for. If you would like, I could find them again.
This
These
is
days-
okay. We have learned his name. We know where he is. We can always come back.
Yes.
What was his name again?
Ethan.
Ethan. Ethan, the shady potion man.
Who hopefully will not have us drink poison. Toby has just made friends. Toby does not want them to get sick.
As a ritual, I want to take out a little disc and cast detect magic on them. See if they're actually magic.
You said as a ritual?
Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna have to find somewhere to sort of like settle and do that.
I'll use a spell slot.
Okay. Give me one moment. Which one are you going to do it on all of them? Is like
yeah,
you
sure.
Yeah.
First the gold and the pink, and then the other two if Kunskop still has them out.
Does Kuniscap still have them out?
Unscott gives them to Brory.
All right.
Aksha hands the blue one. Yes. Here.
Give me one moment.
They're blue and green, right?
Yes.
All right.
This is taking 10 minutes, yes?
Well, no,
no.
because he's.
I'm using a spell slot, so just an
May,
action.
may
and
I roll
time.
Arcana to just coincide?
Sure. Like, well, what are you trying to do?
Identify these.
You would have to
trying-
be able to like sit down and like spend time with that to do it.
While he's checking that out and looking around for polish.
Sure. Okay. So the first one you're checking is which one?
Gold square bottle.
Okay, so the gold square bottle. So detect magic will tell you what school it is, right?
Yes.
Does it tell you
If I-
anything else?
No. I can use identify for that later if
Sure.
something comes up.
Okay.
I should be able to read any magical auras.
Yeah. So the first one you said is the gold one.
Gold square.
Okay. So you pick it up and so how do you, when you cast detect magic, what does it look like? Like how does it work for you?
I have a little circular disc that has different lights around the sides, and if I point it at something, it'll let me know if there is an aura coming from it.
Okay, so you point it at this bottle, and whereas usually one of the little like things will light up with a color, right?
Yeah.
What happens here is first it glows a bit red, and then it blinks, and then the yellow one begins to glow, and then the blue one begins to glow, and then the orange one begins to glow, and each of these gems slowly begin to sort of alternate one by one. That, as far as you can tell, suggests that it is some kind of chaotic essence, which means it's not necessarily any particular school of magic, but some strange mixture of them, perhaps.
Yeah, this is definitely some kind of magic. I'll look into this later. Pink one.
The pink one, do me a favor. Roll.
Oh boy.
You don't know. That's okay.
I like where this is going.
Oh, okay. We can do that. Why don't you roll me a D100?
D100. 28.
28, you said.
I did.
Okay. So, which one did you say you're doing?
Pink wolf.
Okay. The pink wolf, you point your gadget at it, and after a moment, it begins to glow sort of green, which indicates that it's some kind of enchantment.
Enchantment. Okay, also magic. I think he was actually trying to sell us what he was saying he was selling us.
Next.
Unskap Soker does not seem phased by this whatsoever.
Let's go to the
Toby-
blue one.
Toby is starting to think that maybe we should find this Ethan again.
And
So-
pay him?
You point your device at the blue one, and nothing happens.
This one's a dud. I hand it back to Asuka.
Aksha goes,
Psh, ow!
Yeah, that was-
Where did that come from?
Toby has now flip-flopped on his stance and no longer cares about Ethan.
and the green one.
The green one. So you hold your device up to the green one, And after a moment, uh, the yellow gem begins to glow, which is divination.
Nation. Which would not be anything that he described it doing.
No, it would not.
So this one is magic, but not the kind of magic that he said.
Maybe he stole them.
Possible.
Toby was also thinking stolen magic.
When we get a chance to sit down, I'll work on these a bit more.
I find that in this world, when people don't know what they are messing with, they often just haphazardly mix things together. Perhaps this man is just one who has some strokes of luck.
Well, whatever
Possibly.
this one is, I would love to. Well, this one's concerning, the gold one.
Hold on to it until tonight. I will run some tests to try to garner its actual abilities.
I have a few things I can do as well. Down to sit down and work it out. So the fish on a stick.
Yes. So with the crowd having sort of dispersed around you after the way that you interacted with Ethan, it becomes far easier to sort of see around. It hasn't dissuaded all of the merchants from bothering you, but it's significantly less. And with the keen eye that some of you have out, it doesn't seem like any of them are at least trying to procure your gold through less legitimate methods. Eventually, you find yourselves walking along the edges of the market, and there is a shack. It is a bit ramshackled, not in the best of shape, but it should suit the purposes you are looking for quite well. Outside of it is a sign that hangs a little bit crooked, and scrawled on it in what seems to be chalk or charcoal is "Snapper on a Stick," and a little really sort of poor drawing of a stick with a fish on it. Although there's not nearly enough detail for it to be anything besides a nondescript symbol of a fish. And there are people surrounding it with various forms of half or quarter or almost completely eaten fish on sticks.
Is this a place where you go inside,
It
or
is.
they are inside? Okay, so Toby would like to go inside.
Yeah, Toby, you're gonna have to duck a little bit. You notice that as the closer you get, the shack's a little bit small, height wise. It's not even just by like your standards. Just it's a little short. You don't have to kneel or anything, but you definitely will have to bend down. In fact, everyone except for Aksha will probably have to get a little bit low.
Actually, Aksha will
I'd
probably
climb down.
Aksha will probably have to kneel down the most, considering they're on top of
That's-
Kunskapsoker's head.
That's fair. That's fair. Yes, you will have to dismount.
Yes. Aksha, climb down. Your head good? Thank you for ride. Thank you. Thank you, French.
You're just gonna just hang out outside.
And
Kunskapsoker will also be outside next to Gin.
and as people pass, the two of you definitely do garner a lot of curious looks.
Since my actions last night, I am considering that the few who did visit me last night would have been talking. I'm wondering if I can overhear anyone in this town recognizing not necessarily what I am, but the services that I offered the night previous.
Probably not from the one night because you only had the 3 patrons. But if you keep it up with some time, you probably will be able to be more easily recognized as such. So the 3 of you step into the shack, and inside there are all sorts of different trinkets and toys and it's kind of a hodgepodge of different things, almost like somebody has just been collecting random assortments and sticking them wherever they will fit inside the shack and calling it decoration. After a moment, the crowd by the back of the shop sort of breaks as people start moving away, and you can smell, having filled the shop, this smell of like cooked fish. Uh, and then you see behind the counter is a wide-eyed, long-snouted, black kobold with just these huge green eyes looking out at everyone, handing out fish after fish after fish and collecting the silvers as they go. And after the crowd begins to break, they notice the group of you in the back, and immediately the eyes lock on Aksha. And this kobold goes, "Greetings! Hello! Come! Come!"
Hail, friend.
"Yes, welcome to Snapper on a Stick. Is my..." And then they stop for a moment, and then they start speaking in Draconic. And they go, "It's my shop. I have worked so hard to put this shop together. I am Snako. Who are you?"
I am Aksha, the mighty dragon. Flexes his wings.
"It is absolutely amazing to meet you. So rarely do I get to see anyone of our kind here, much less someone as majestic and regal looking as yourself. Here, please, this one." And she pulls one of the bigger ones off the fire and just hands it to you. Goes, "This one is free. It's from me for you."
Very gratitude, friend. Takes it gingerly. I have a friend here that is looking for a specific kind of fish. Could you help me?
"I can try. I will say I don't know much about fish besides the snapper, but I'll do the best I can, and if not, perhaps I can help point you in the right direction."
Fantastic news. Let me tell my friend. Toby, yes. See, this friend can help. Yes, can help you maybe find fish.
"Hello, friend."
Hello, my name is Toby.
"Hello, my name is Toby."
Close enough. You only have snapper here.
Yes, good snapper. Very nice, delicious."
Where do you fish your own snapper?
"Oh, yes. My snapper from me, Snako."
Do you fish anything besides snapper?
No. Snako only no snapper. Snapper very good.
Where do you fish?
Snako fish down by boardwalk over in Wall. Is good catching.
Is there any other fish trade here for some things besides snapper?
Many fish trades here. Merchants who come by water sell many fish. Also, maybe you look for fishing. Fishing, you go hooked on fishing. Snako knows. Snako think hooked on fishing. Very good. You meet Rindy.
Who?
Rindy.
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 Very
Who is
good.
Rindy?
Best fishing.
Best fishing
Snako,
from
Rindy,
Rindy.
like this. And then Snako, still giving you her attention, begins to hand out sticks to other people and collect their currency.
Is there a sign for how much it is?
Yeah, it's 2 silver per.
Yeah, I'll give
Snap.
2 silver.
And she takes the 2 silver and she hands you one. She goes, "You enjoy is very good. Snako work. Very hard, perfect recipe."
Just
You-
scarf
you-
down one big bite. How is
And
how is
here-
it?
Oh, you tell me.
Is she making them fresh right now? Like, are they?
Yes, yeah.
Is she like pulling fresh fish out, just like putting them on the thing?
Skewers them, put them. Every time she picks one up, she grabs one out of like a something behind the counter. You can probably see it. It's like a big chest that she just pulls them out, skewers it, sticks it over the fire.
I'm just gonna take a piece of gold and just.
I'll pull out one piece of gold and say, 2, fresh, salted, just dragged slightly across the fire.
If you can make mine like his.
Snockokin does this. She puts them down and she grabs 2, she skewers them, and she grabs a claw full of salt and she just carefully throws salt over them, and then she pushes them over the tops of the ones that are already resting there, and then flips them and then pulls them back off. You sure?
Yes, perfect.
I'll try one like that.
And then she grabs 2 more and does it again for you.
I'm gonna
Okay,
eat
so-
that one whole. See how that is.
I'm gonna take both in one hand, pass the gold coin over, and as she's doing all of this, I'm going to ask: Have you ever caught any Fugimarilyn here?
No, Snocko not know about Fugimero.
No.
No.
Any in the trade here?
Maybe you show me you has?
I take the. I'm actually gonna pass over the 2 that are in my hand over to Brari if I can.
Sure.
Hold
I'll take
these?
the other 4 fully cooked.
Okay, perfect. Hold these. Thank you. I do want them back. I am gonna eat that.
Oh, of course. Holding them.
Going in, I'll go in my bag, pull out the little jar, and open it. Just I guess like over the counter where patrons can't really see the dead fish.
Sure,
But
yeah.
here you go.
Oh, that very pretty. No, I no see.
Oh, okay.
Where you find? It tastes good?
It used to.
Oh,
I would
Well-
not eat this.
maybe because it's dead. Yeah. Not good?
You eat this fish, you be dead.
Oh, no, dead.
No dead. Toby no
Snuckle,
want friends to be dead either.
Snuckle looks back over at Aksha and then in Draconic goes, your friends are wonderful. I love them. This is amazing.
They are very generous.
How have I gotten so lucky to have all of you grace my shop?
By chance. Can you tell me anyone else who could possibly find this fish? Someone very knowledgeable in fish.
Very knowledgeable. Well, you might be able to find some information from Rindy over at Hooked on Fishing. Like I said, Rindy knows
We'll
his
go to
fishing.
Rinky.
Besides that, there are a couple people on the docks who might be able to help you out. Maybe. Oh, Bozer. Bozer helps. Bozer could help you. Bozer is he around? He may. I don't know if Bozer's here. He's on a lot of boats a lot of the time. He goes out into the sea, but he is an avid fisherman. He's an avid fishmonger. He trades and sells many different kinds of fish for eating and for keeping as pets. It's weird they do that. Have you seen this? They do that.
I have not seen this.
It is strange. They take the food and they put it in a big box, but you can see through it. And it just lives in their house. It's not food at all. It's very, very confusing. I don't get it.
Okay. Well, that is interesting.
It is.
Fish in box.
Was this
Yeah.
all in common?
No, this is all in your
Oh, okay.
Draconic.
Well,
So
we're
I'm-
doing the
I've-
dragon speak event. current
Yeah, I've taken the food back from you.
those are a little raw. All right.
And
Okay.
as Snako's talking to Aksha, she hands you the cooked ones that you had asked for.
I'm gonna eat another one whole and just hold on to the other 3.
Nice.
Okay, Snako. Thank you very much for this information.
Thank you. You can come back anytime you want.
We will definitely be back.
Ah, lucky me.
All right.
May may the ancestors guide you and protect you and empower you always.
Likewise.
Mhm.
While they were inside,
Yes.
what is Gierna doing?
Girna's just kind of chilling out with you, watching all the people.
Kornskop Soker seems to be having something on their mind for a few minutes, and as if the words of the individual they found at the guild got to them a little bit, they look around and perhaps see a few locals camping out by leaning against the walls, trying to hang or be cool with their clique. And Kunsap Soka tries to emulate that by leaning against a wall and crossing their arms and trying to look cool or imposing. Just stands there for a minute. Figures that suddenly they feel very uncomfortable and sits down and shakes their head and looks back up at Gerna and says, "So, what are you doing?"
I am, how you say, people watching.
No, I mean, what are you doing? I I ask this question as someone interested in you in a lot of ways. You found yourself in a place and time that you do not recognize. What are your plans?
To follow you and Bori, and stay by your sides while you need protection.
That is your life's goal, to protect myself and Brory?
I was made to be a defender. The person that I was made to defend is gone, and therefore I defend someone else. It is my purpose.
There's a few moments of silence as Kunskap's face turns away to think. I will say something that I do not hope that you take as an insult, because I do not mean it as such. In fact, I envy it. You have a simple outlook on a life's goal.
My outlook or opinion is neither here nor there. I am not alive.
I have never had a constant companion of any sort in my entire travels. And I do not think that I would want one that does not have their own thoughts or beliefs on subjects. For if that was the case, I might as well converse with myself. And as interesting as that might be, sometimes I do find it boring most of the time.
Yes, I have been led to understand that people definitely do not enjoy doing that very often, which is part of why I converse. I provided some level of companionship for Lilith when she was alive. I have the ability to do the same for others, but my ideas are more reflections of the people and things that I have observed than my own creations.
What is it you want?
I was not designed to want.
But you do have them. You want to protect me and Brody. You want to continue to exist. You have desires. They may not be as refined as some would say, but they are not non-existent.
Your words remind me of an old companion. He used to have long talks with me like this as well. It would make Lilith very angry. But all is well. My purpose is my purpose, and I serve it.
I hope that you desire.
I wish that I could help you with that, or fulfill the things that you expect.
I don't expect it. I just wish it. I think the gods have many, many paths for you to follow.
Yes, I don't actually know if I will ever run out of energy or become inert. So I may walk many paths, yes. Although I must say, so I am far more curious about the paths you are walking than the ones that I am on. I have never met anyone much like you, Soka.
I will answer any questions you have, but I do not think this is the right time.
Then, when it is the right time.
Tonight, then.
Okay, that sounds good.
At which point, the three of you step out from the shack. Ooh.
Actually eats his fish.
Toby has moved on to his second fish.
It's good. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll go for the third class one.
Fast has been broken.
So,
Kunskap Soker cocks their head and goes, I see you didn't bring me any. Interesting.
My
And
hand
stands up and just walks away.
Hello. One right here.
No, it's fine. You may have it.
The worst.
I didn't realize Kunskap was a mother-in-law.
I thought the bird was Moody.
No, Moody's always happy. Third base.
so Aksha talked to Kobold friend who runs Shack. Snacko? Yes, Snacko. Snacko said we should talk to Rindy, best fisher around the area. There's also another person, Bozer. He's supposed to be an avid fishmonger who catches fish and puts them in glass bowls so people can look at them.
Yes.
I believe it is time, however, for us to visit the local law authorities
Yes.
to exasperate any issues they may have with us.
Yes, before he throws us in box.
Like the fish.
So people
Exactly.
can look at us.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
terrifying.
Aksha did not like.
Toby does not like being looked at like that.
Yuna, to you, this practice is not the strangest of all things you've ever heard. You've heard stories before about it being a fairly popular custom within the Dominion. And Rory, you've also experienced this a couple of times in your time there.
I believe that is called an aquarium.
Yeah,
Oh, aquarium.
Yes.
it's like a cage for fish.
Oh, fish. Okay. Fish cage.
Pretty fish specifically.
I've
Fish
seen
should,
some pretty ugly fish in them.
I've only seen dead fish.
like a net.
No, like you know how you would keep a chicken in a fence so the
To-
chicken doesn't get out.
Toby is not familiar with this practice.
Fair enough. It's you know your jar with the fish in it?
Yes. I'm
Okay.
gonna go in and get the jar out and put it in front of you. Yes,
Okay.
jar with fish. Dead fish.
Imagine instead of a small jar, it was very wide and the fish wasn't dead.
Oh, very big jar with live fish swimming. Yes.
So the sea, but in a home.
Sort of.
Essentially.
Toby does not like this practice.
Yeah, it's
Why
weird.
cage nature?
Well, I mean, if you're gonna cook them later, I can see it, but some people just look at the fish and don't eat them.
Because they are pretty.
Again, I've seen very ugly fish on display.
Maybe they will eat the ugly fish later. People very rarely eat the pretty fish.
Toby can agree there are many ugly fish.
To that note,
So I assume you've been walking as you've been talking.
yeah, looking for a bakery and a general goods store for the.
I thought you were going to the.
We're going to the police place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the way there,
On the way.
need some polish.
Yeah, if we see a general store or a bakery or something.
Sure.
This will be my revenge for never letting me eat last time. You get no polish forever.
Ever. So two of you can roll a perception if you'd like as you walk down the streets, preoccupied by your conversation but keeping an eye out.
I will never find any polish.
If you can.
That is an 8.
All right, and who else would like to roll?
I'll take my passive perception of 16.
Sure. So with someone can still roll if you'd like. Your passive will still count. Generally, when I do stuff like this, I count all of your passives as well, and then whoever wants to actively search can.
I'll take my 16, thank you.
Okay. So generally, in a situation like that, you should let someone else roll because you just have a really good passive anyway. But let's see. So you continue your walk, and along the way, you find both a bakery that has a sort of an attempt at what looks like a fancy banner across the top of it, though it's a bit old and dirty and not entirely straight, which says Luthra's Pastry Shop. And almost across the street from it is a store called necessary necessities.
I'll go get the pie. You get your polish. You said.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea.
All right. I head to the bakery.
And I had to get my polish.
Sure. Which places different people going?
Like to go into the necessary necessities shop
Sure.
just to browse.
Aksha will go with pies.
Couldn't discuss.
Scap is going to just follow Gien.
Okay, so first, Aksha and Rory. So you step through the door into a what looks like a decently built, brick layered interior, with a sort of planked roof. You immediately notice a handful of very crudely painted paintings of loaves of bread hanging on the walls. There is a very young looking, very bright eyed, gnomish girl, probably only about 14 or 15, who is currently blending together ingredients in a bowl. Besides her, the shop seems to be completely empty. She looks up, regards you, and goes, "Well, hello. Welcome to Luthra's pastry shop. What can I get for you?"
Do you have any pies?
Well, I would hope so. We are a pastry shop. We have 2 pies currently almost fresh out of the oven. It's a good thing you came as early as you did. Our pies. Well, I would tell you that our pies sell out very quickly, but based on the current patronage, I think you'd know I'm lying. But they are very good pies, I promise. We're just
I'll try they.
not your primary pie shop. We have 2 kinds. We have carrot pies, and we have pear pies.
Oh,
How much are they?
Well, each one is a silver.
Okay. We'll take one of each, I guess.
yes, this is good.
Take
So-
out 2 silver.
She goes under like the top of the table and pulls out 2 relatively small. They're about like hand-sized pies and puts them down in front of each of you. The carrot one has what seems like a little bit of grainy icing over the top of it, in the shape of a carrot, and has this sort of earthy, sweet, mixed smell kind of wafting off of it. And the pear pie is just this incredibly like sickly sweet smell. That'll be 2 silver for each of you.
Yep.
And they're good pies, I promise. They're very good pies.
Carrot pie.
Tell all your
Right.
friends because we need it. Our bread's also really good if you're looking for bread. That we do sell out of, but people usually buy a bunch at once.
I will buy a loaf of bread.
Well, you're not here, right? You went into the need
I thought Gierno was here. I apologize.
necessary necessities with Girna and Toby.
Aksha wants to ask her a question. So can he use his persuasion?
Yeah, ask your question. Let's do it.
Let's see. Oh, didn't do very good. 10? A 10.
Yeah, what's your question?
You say your business is not very good. Like, what's going on with that?
Well, the food is good, but business not so much. Unfortunately, we lose a lot of our business to the warmer side.
Oh, do they have pastry shops there that are?
It's an inn and tavern, but they do sell pies. And don't tell my mother I said this, but their pies are significantly better than ours. Not to say our pies are bad. Our pies are not bad, but they're not even nearly as good.
Mm,
I've tried a number of times to try and figure out what it is that makes them so good, but I just can't. There's nothing I can do to emulate them, and I've tried to go ask for lessons, but
Have you heard of? Do we know her son's name? Was it mentioned?
it was not.
It
But
was not.
yeah.
That would have been helpful information.
That would have been good to know. Huh?
Yes, I agree. Yeah. The whole episode 1, I'm like, or episode 2, I'm sitting on it, and I'm like, okay, it's here. They just have to ask. no, no
We're gonna have
takers.
to-
Okay.
You'd have to visit your pie shop again. soon.
Please, I would love that. Repeat business would be very, very great.
Okay. And then I say to Briori, we have to find out her son's name, Lena's son's name.
We didn't ask that. Yes.
Yeah, no. Actually,
That-
dumb.
Yeah. Do you have any rations?
I have bits of bread, but that's all. Just
I'll take
different.
a loaf of bread.
Would you like rye or barley or biscuit loaf?
Biscuit loaf. No idea what that is.
All right. And she takes the like loaf of biscuit bread. It's essentially like a loaf that's been sliced and then rebaked. They tend to last a long time. And she, would you like it wrapped? Or are you just gonna eat it now? Do you?
Wrapped, please. Yes.
That's going to be 2 silver. And she
2 silver down.
wraps it up in some like sort of torn away cloth, and she hands it to you. She goes,
Thank
it's good. It's good. It's better than our pies. Not that our pies are bad. I am not saying that. The last time someone thought I said that and my mother found out, she was very upset. It's very important that no one thinks I said that.
Any reason for the type of pies you make?
It's
Very.
family recipes.
I can definitely say I've never heard of carrot pie.
Oh, it's good. It's very different. There's really a mixture of sort of sweet and a little bit of savory. It's very filling too.
I'll be glad to give it a try,
Let me know how you like it.
of course. And I take the pies and the loaf. Thank you. And on out.
All right, over at needful necessities, necessary necessities rather. So. You as you enter, you see this building is kind of a giant mess. There's no real organization to the things in here, but it's everything you would expect to see in your basic general goods store. But the shelves are crooked as though they were sort of haphazardly hammered into the wall, and hooks have things hanging from them. There's a rope here and a rope like 2 rows down. Nothing seems to be exactly where it should be. But there are a couple of people sort of walking through the shop, and after a moment, you are approached by this rather rotund dwarf, and she has these sort of very soft aqua eyes and very pale skin with wisps of beard sort of hanging from her chin, and she looks at the 3 of you and she waves a very sausage fingered hand. Hello. What can I get for use?
Good morning. I am searching for sword or armor polish.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've got some sword or armor polish. Give me a second, I'm gonna go find it. And she starts trudging around and sort of pushing things out of the way on the on one of the shelves. And then after a moment, um, she pulls a small sort of what's a good term for it? Like a small, not quite a jar, just like a container that like can twist open. And she holds it and she goes, "Here we go. I found it. Let's. Is there anything else I can do for you?"
May I also have a polishing rag? And I'm gonna look around. Are there any like preserves or like jarred fruit or anything?
Looking around, you don't see any like perishables at all.
Okay, then that's it.
He goes, "You know what? I'll throw in the rag. It's not a problem. It's always nice to have people come on in and just be looking to pick stuff up. I've got a whole lot of everything."
In looking around, is there any like evident fishing supplies there?
Ooh, evident
Like
fishing.
hooks or nets or lines or something like that.
Yes, actually. As you look through the different um, like shelves, you do come across a fishing tackle. It's a little bit banged up, but everything it seems to be in order.
That's the only thing I see.
That's it.
Okay. I'm going to ask then, while she's still there. Be like, "Hi, I am Toby.
Oh, hi, Toby. What's up?
Just a question. Um, do you know anyone by the name of Bozer?"
No, I can't say I've ever met a boozer.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Probably. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, I do not think so. My friend was looking for polish, and she got her polish.
Right, perfect. Come on to the back. I'll hook you up.
Okay.
She sort of waddles her way back there. It's a bit of a fight to get behind the counter. Plops it down. She kind of tosses a few things out of the way and pulls out like a rag, which she puts over it and sort of like wraps the polish in. And then she goes, "All right, that'll be 5 silver."
And Girna pulls out a gold and pushes it across.
And she takes it and she taps it on the bar top and the countertop, and then she pulls out 5 silver and slides it back to you.
I slide back 1 silver, but the other 4 away.
That's real nice of you.
Well, I appreciate the quick and useful help.
It's my pleasure. And tell me, I haven't seen you guys around here, the two of you and your real spooky friend. What brings you over?
Fish.
There's some good fishing around here. Some real good fishing. Hope you, if you're looking for any fishing goods, I don't got too much, but what I got is over there somewhere. You're free to look around, and you can always go check out by the markets. There's a lot of different fish equipment out there you can pick up. Good fishing spots too, especially if you can get a boat, charter a boat, take you out a little bit ways into the ocean. It's real good.
It has been a long time since I have sailed at all.
Yes.
Just shake your friend at the fish, they'd probably just freak out and die. You are a scary person.
They are not that scary.
Coonskop Soaker seems to look down at themselves and, and then just kind of like shrinks behind the other two and then just kind of stares for a second. Like down at the ground.
Hey, it's not a bad thing. This could be real useful in a lot of situations. Don't think anybody's gonna try and cut your purse.
No, but we did get a few potions out of the deal. Is that all we need here?
Yes, I have everything I need.
Toby is done.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming in. Y'all have a good one today. It's a nice day out despite the clouds.
Yes,
Coonskop leaves quickly.
I follow Kunska.
I follow as well.
Yeah, the group of you can reassemble outside the shops.
As we're waiting outside for them, Purari will give one of the last 2 fish to Aksha and eat the other one.
Yummy.
Then you guys are
Hi,
heading.
guys.
Oh yeah. Oh nuts.
We got pies.
Oh, excellent. For Bates, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
You're not got polish.
Yes.
Aksha, am I scary?
I don't think you're scary. No.
Peasants and the common folk fear death. And so your mask is probably a little scary to them, for they live simple lives.
Fear death?
I have been told many living things fear death.
Sometimes people scream when they see Aksha. So
Broy, do you fear death?
No, not like paralyzing fear, but not wanting to do it anytime soon.
The eyes of the mask flash and they Coonskop goes, am I scary to you?
Weird, but no.
There's a nod and Coonskop starts walking towards the police station.
The guard station.
Whatever it's called.
We gotta deal with the 5-0.
Gonna get ourselves arrested.
Sure. So
Off we go, I guess.
You're welcome.
you hear that?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Weird. Anyway, so yeah, off you all go, and it's only about a 20-minute walk. You get there with a couple minutes to spare. And as you do, you see. So the guard station is a relatively small building, sort of a perfect square. It has an open top where you see 2 Templars standing, sort of looking out over the streets. And as they see the group of you, their eyes sort of like lock onto you all, appearing very clearly unique group of individuals. At the door stands a silver dragonborn who looks over the group of you and sort of rests his hands at the neck cut out for his scale mail, and he goes, "Can I help you?"
You were asked by Valder to come speak to him.
Knight Templar Valder. Yeah, you can just go on in. Don't cause any trouble. It's probably the stupidest place to do it.
Of course.
May wisdom go with you.
Yes.
Uh,
Sure.
you, He looks at you a little strangely and opens the door. Inside is definitely more functional than decorative, with the walls lined with weaponry and manacles and all sorts of useful tools one would expect to see within a guard station. There are a number of different Templars going to and fro, some of which are wearing sort of what do they call them? Mantles of different colors, each with Balas' symbol clearly adorned on it. There is one person who walks past, and you hear a sort of growling sound, and see this.
I was just about to say I'm looking out for those accursed dogs.
This very sort of muscular hound being led on a chain leash, and it stops for a moment and it looks at the group of you, and something in its eyes is almost accusatory, which is a strange look to see from a dog, but is most definitely what this look is. And then the Templar gives it a tug. Come on. And it sort of like pads away, but it keeps its eyes trained on the group of you for a couple of moments before allowing
Excuse
itself to leave.
Templar, may I speak to your companion?
They don't even stop. They just keep walking.
Just let the dog go. Let it go.
Toby does not like that dog.
After a moment, you hear, "Oi! There you are."
Some melodious tones.
Last person told me I had a melodious voice. You know what I did to them?
Bought some a drink.
No, I said thank you because I have some goddamn manners. All right, come on. And he leads the group of you through a couple of like hallways into a room. He opens the door and he goes, "All right, everyone have a seat. We're gonna have a little powwow."
Alrighty. Kieran's gonna find a seat and sit her butt down carefully.
Is this like a table?
Yeah,
setup?
it's like a large rectangular table with just like wooden chairs surrounding
How
it.
tall
plenty.
is the table?
You're gonna have to hunch a little bit.
I was gonna say, how short is the table? How big are these chairs? Because Toby has a bit of a wide keister.
Toby's probably gonna need 2 of these chairs.
Okay. Toby is going to grab a second chair and push it over next to the first chair to make his one cheek on each seat, so to speak.
It's not particularly comfortable, but it works.
Yes, Toby is missing the comfy chair from back at the guild. Toby wishes he took that chair with him.
And once all of you are in and settled, Valder sort of like half slams the door behind him, and then he pushes aside the chair seated opposite the group of you and leans forward sort of on his knuckles and looks over the group of you, his face sort of lit by the torchlight that surrounds the room, really outlining the sharpness of his features. That's, "All right, so let's have us a chat. So, let's start with you," he says as he nods to Aksha. "What brings you here to Southreach?"
My mentor was murdered, so I have come here to find his friend and see if I can learn more about what happened to him.
That's real awful. I'm sorry to hear it. It sucks.
Thank you. Yes, it does.
Cause any trouble yet?
No, I bought pies.
Don't know that I'd call that trouble as long as you paid for them.
Yes,
All right,
Aksha paid for it.
what about you? He says, pointing at the bear. Yeah.
Toby?
Yeah.
Well, Toby told you already yesterday that he walked a very long way here, and then he showed up and there were monsters. So Toby tried to help with the monsters, but these nice people got rid of the monsters, and then you showed up and said that it was your monster. So Toby tried to give you your monster back, but you didn't want the monster back. And then Toby tried to show you the fish, which is why he's here, but you didn't know anything about the fish. So Toby went to find more people who might know something about the fish. And then Toby got to sleep in a nice, comfy bed for the first time in a very long time last night. That was nice. Thanks again to these nice people over here.
You being a wise ass with me.
No, Toby. My name is Toby.
Is he always like this?
Like what?
Never mind.
Adorable? Yes. Toby always adorable. Pat pat.
Bella's sake. All right, ma'am. I'm gonna have to ask you to remove the helmet. It's not. I got to be able to see you.
Ah, give me just a moment. It is a complicated process. She's gonna get up and go face the door.
Yes, continue.
See this?
And hope for the best.
And what happened?
I'm gonna use my disguise self in order to make myself look like a person and pull my hood down, and after I'm personified, and come back to the table.
Okay. I'm going to have to ask you to roll me a. Why don't you roll me a stealth with advantage?
Okay. So
Your armor will not cancel out your advantage in this instance.
okay,
Nothing. Yeah, you roll with advantage. You're fine in this particular instance.
So that was a 16 and a 7. Obviously, I want the 16. And that's a +2 for my just regular dexterity, so 18.
Are you? You have proficiency with Arcana, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just checking. All right. So you do it, and you come back over to the table. Do you want to describe what you look like?
She looks a little bit like Belle from Beauty and the Beast. She has this slightly wavy chestnut brown hair that's drawn back into 3 buns that looks a little bit like the gears that she has on the back of her head normally, but now they're hair. She has sort of brown hazel eyes and this very angular gold eyeshadow that's very reminiscent of, the color that's on her helm normally. And she still has the cloak, which is, closed. And yeah, she just looks like a human woman, a petite human woman.
Thank you. So, what about you? What's your story? What are you doing here?
I am with Rory and Kunskap Soka. I am here to be their protector.
They hire you.
It is more of a voluntary position.
Old friends.
Yes.
I'm gonna have you roll a deception for that.
Wait, for being friends?
Old friends.
Oh, no, I didn't hear the old part.
Oh, okay.
Friends, yes.
All right. What about you? He says, pointing at Rory. What's your story? Why are you here?
You still have the note from yesterday?
Tell me anyway.
I am following that note to the word.
So you plan on leaving after you're done cashing this in?
Might be helping out these people, but outside of that,
Hmm.
whatever the guild needs.
What about you? You're being real quiet over there.
Which of us are you talking to?
The only one he hasn't asked yet, which is you.
I met Brory after they decided to spelunk into a unknown cave. I think Gerna would agree on this, saved his life, and we became companions ever since.
So you're here because he's here.
I found that the gods have guided my path to this, yes.
Hmm. You say the gods, huh?
Yes.
All right. He grabs a chair, he sits down in it. All right. He leans back. So now, why don't you tell me exactly to the detail what happened yesterday before I showed up?
We entered the town after handing our identification to the two guards. They were two dragonborns, right?
Yeah.
To the two dragonborns outside Eastgate.
Mhm.
Then we got into the town, and then there were fish people. Monsters.
Yes, we had barely taken 2 steps into the town before screaming and panic.
Yes, the guard said, "This is a very peaceful town. Don't go disturbing the peace. Open the door. There's no peace to be found."
And is that what happened with the rest of you?
No,
Yes.
I took 3 steps into the city before there were fish people.
Oh, I see.
Should took one. Just
But
one.
Toby took many more steps.
All right, enough. I don't give a fuck about how many steps you took. Fucking hell. All right. So if I'm gonna believe what you're telling me, because if we're being honest with each other, there's no reason for me to doubt it, really.
Especially with the due diligence of checking with the guards that we entered at that time.
Yeah, I plan on doing that. Haven't gotten to yet, but I will. Did you talk to Lena?
We did?
Real shame what happened to her, boy. The missing, I mean.
Insight check.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I forget, what was her
God.
boy's name?
What?
What was your boy's name?
Good try. You don't know.
I'm asking him.
Oh, you're asking him.
Yes. He said it was such a shame.
Yeah,
So
you should know. Probably.
Hang on. So, Kunska. He seems totally on the up and up, man. You don't know what you were worried about before. So you're telling me you spent the whole evening talking to her. Didn't once think to ask for his name.
It slipped my mind right now. It's been a day yesterday. I feel with the fish people, you could agree with that.
See, up until this moment, like, I'll be honest, I was pretty ready to believe you. All of you. But pardon the pun, that's some fishy shit right there.
If I may, it
I
is
don't
not
think that
hard.
one can be pardoned.
It is not hard to simply ask Lena herself if we were speaking with her during the night. There were many patrons that were in the tavern who can say that we were there. We are quite noticeable.
What tavern was it? He says, looking over at Toby.
Oh, this was Toby met other woman. Her name was Annie.
You're already getting involved with the rabble. All right. Moscow. His name was Moscow.
Not so.
Yeah, so what do you want to name the child? And she was like, we should name him my toe. And they wrote it down, Moscow.
All right. I trust that though you may not be the brightest group of people I've ever come across, you do seem pretty well natured. You helped out, and I appreciate that. And you did it without too much other fuckery. Although, we will have to talk before you leave about the damage done to that house. Someone lives there, and now they have to fix that. And we will also have to talk about how I may or may not, depending on how this conversation ends, have seen some very questionable use of magics that may or may not have been taught at a college that may or may not be an accepted spell within the
I'm sorry,
borders
one more
of
time.
Southreach. One more time. All right, I'll simplify it for you. It's entirely possible that even if you meant no harm, you did some dumb shit and you could still be in trouble for it. How about that one? Is that simple enough?
Thank you for simplifying for Toby. Toby did not understand.
Yeah.
Which spells are you thinking of in particular?
Well, let's start with this. Can you present for me your license to practice magic within Southreach?
You require the licensure of people who are connected to the divines?
We require, if you're connected to the divines, then I'm going to go ahead and assume you have some kind of identification that proves yourself to be some sort of priest. Do you?
This is a very confusing subject for me. Please explain why one must certify their faith in the ones above. Do you have such certification for your faith?
It's not the faith you need to be certified in. What you have to be certified in is the use of magics that wield that faith, because if you don't know how to use it, then you might well be a danger. Wild and unpredictable is what magic is if you don't know what you're doing.
So you believe that the divines would allow for unsafe magic that is not in their path to make?
I would believe as
Are
many
you
here
saying, my friend,
as
that
many
you
here
believe
do
that the
that
divines
at the
make
end of it
mistakes?
all, anyone could theoretically gain access to magics. And once they have tapped into the gifts given to us by the gods, specifically by Balus, they can do some dangerous things with it. So we are very careful about that. Yes.
I am very confused at the prospect of believing that the gods could make mistakes. I did not know that was a part of any religion.
It's a good tactic, but unfortunately, I'm not dense enough for it to get through. Mind like a steel trap, this one.
This is simply a division of beliefs.
Most likely, but while you're here in our city, you're gonna have to adhere to all beliefs. Yeah,
Where would
so-
one prove their divine tethers?
Well, if it's divine magic you're wielding, then we need some sort of documentation that you are part of some sort of divine group that we can confirm and thus know that you have been trained proper.
And where would one get such paperwork?
From whatever organization taught you how to wield magic given by the gods.
Ah, I see. My apologies. And Kuhnskop will cast their runes upon the table as if that is evidence.
Like the carved on bone, right?
Yes.
Awesome. There's a bunch of
Fantastic.
bones scattered across the table. That somebody should help this gentle person, before they get themselves in real trouble.
Yes. If he's going to read them, the runes need to be facing him, not facing us.
I do not think that he can read the runes.
Oh, my apologies. I assumed you were a man of faith. Give me one moment.
I have plenty of faith. You know what? Right now, I'm having faith about how you would fare a week in a holding cell.
Like the fish?
What?
Your people do that here. Put fish in cells.
Yes, sometimes they put them in aquariums, yeah.
Mm.
But that has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now.
Toby does not understand.
This is all very confusing.
Fish
Sorry,
aren't
I'm
considered people and thus don't
Pushing
have rights to
myself off the chairs, and I'm going to stand in the corner.
I'm tempted to send you all on your way with a proper escort out of town at this point.
If I may, we have caused no harm to the people or the town. We have no intention of causing harm. We simply are looking for an alchemist and some fish. We've already done a service for this place. Surely that is enough to let us go about our day and live peacefully side by side with you.
Good deeds don't make you immune to the law. If they did, well, this would be a much worse place. There are people who think that sometimes, but often enough they learn better. I'll tell you what. Against my better judgment, you seem like, regardless of how infuriating and perhaps fragile-minded some of you might be, you do still have the best of intentions. So, two things. One, as long as you don't continue to drive me batshit nutty, and you help me with something, I think we can look past this. And in doing so, maybe even help with Lena's problem, even if not necessarily directly.
What
do
is
you
your
have in
proposal?
mind?
All right. He pulls open a drawer on his side and pulls out a large grouping of scrolls and parchments. And he unfurls two of the scrolls and puts down stones to hold them in place and starts laying out parchments. Each of these represents someone who's gone missing over the last year and a half. Now, most of the people here, including my superiors, say I'm crazy, and they don't really care to look into it because it's runaways, yeah? People who moved away from their homes, tried to make good here, Southreach. It's a good city, but it's not always kind. And if you try to do something and you fail, it's best to move on unless you end up stuck over in the walls or worse. But I don't think that's what happened. It's too many people over too short of a time for no one to know they left. Doesn't make sense. Something's going on. No one here's willing to help. Every time I look into it, I'm told to stop. It's a waste. There's only so many of us. We have to keep the streets clear. We protect the surrounding areas. Many of us are sent off. We have borders to protect. If the group of you were willing to look into this for me, carefully, without putting my name out there, maybe we could figure this out. But don't fuck around on it. And don't fuck on me. Now, if you're willing to do that and help me, then we can make this work. And we can forget about what may have been a couple of mistakes made. Otherwise, I am more than happy to call in a regiment to escort you to the city gates, and you can go on your way and do whatever it is that makes you happy outside of Southreach.
Can I add one caveat to this?
You can certainly try.
If we are to do this for you, would you be able to get me a certification so that this may not ever be a problem again?
I will talk to some people that I can talk to and see about getting proper licenses for yourself and your golden friend there. I don't know if the rest of you need any, but I'm fairly certain I saw one of you throwing around fire and it wasn't coming from your mouth.
Oh, is
Aksha,
fire from
sorry,
the
he
mouth the
missed.
only proper fire?
What was that?
I said, is fire from the mouth the only proper fire?
Fire from the mouth could be natural. Dragons do it all the time. But
Huh.
slinging fire, that's magic.
Aksha is dragon, but Aksha is sorry he missed.
Well, then, that's the offer. If you'd like to take a couple of minutes to discuss it, you're welcome to. Otherwise, feel free to accept or tell me to piss off. Your choice.
Aksha cannot leave. I must find Bryn Talwyn. I have to speak to him. Because my mentor, Brythanor Candor, was killed. And I need to know more. You need to find fish. We need to find lost son. Maybe it all helps. Maybe it's all together. It's a big puzzle.
We did agree to help with the sun, so this is simply an extension of that.
Yes.
I walk back over to the table. Toby does not appreciate that Toby's friends were called fragile-minded. But we did agree, and Toby must stay to find this alchemist. Toby must save the lakes. We must stay.
I'm fine with these terms.
Kuskop, while this is all going on, is just kind of like leaning back in their chair. And it comes to the point where they almost fall backwards. And then they catch themselves and they try to.
Real subtle.
Yes.
So do we have an agreement then?
Okay.
It seems so.
Looks like it.
Aksha agrees.
Good. All right. Here's the deal. We can't go over it all right now or here, lest someone walks in and sees what's going on. So, here's what we're gonna do. Have you found somewhere to stay yet?
Yes,
Where?
the lawn of the guild hall.
I do not think we're allowed to do that again.
I have agreement with guild.
It was for the one night.
They don't know that.
That's true.
If you need to get in contact with us, any information can be left with the guild at the guild hall, and we will at least some of us should be staying
I'm not
there.
looking through a middleman. The whole point of this is that it's not going to directly connect us.
Well,
Would it be easier if we came to you?
Not here, no.
We were recommended to stay at the Quiet Nights Tavern and Inn.
Alright. Then that's where I'll find you tomorrow. Yeah.
What time would you like to meet up?
Let's say we get cracking bright and early. It's my day off. Be there 8:30. We can have breakfast in one of your rooms and discuss it. And then I'll go about my day and leave you to do your work.
Huh?
That sound like acceptable terms.
Seems good.
Aksha agrees.
Look, this is it's complicated. You're not gonna get any support outside of what you find. People are willing to write them off and forget about them because at the end of the day they're wheels, cogs that don't matter in the machine. It's an unfortunate truth. Not just of Southreach, but really of any major city. It's always like that. People get forgotten, people get lost. If you haven't yet, speak to Annie. She may be able to give you something. She's the one person you can tell you're going to because of me. She'll talk about a lot of things, but she won't mention that to nobody. Besides that, your best bets are going to be checking out the inns, probably taking a walk down to all the walls, see what they know down there. Alternatively, if you stop thinking that perhaps it's not something crazy and they're just being lured out, maybe being killed elsewhere, there's plenty of ways out of town for you to check, and you'll always be able to come back and let me know afterwards, so don't be held up by it. But again, you have to work within the confines of the law, at least enough that if something goes wrong, I won't have to skirt those laws to keep you from getting yourselves in trouble. Yeah? For now, he pulls out 2 pieces of parchment and he scribbles on them quickly, and he hands one to Aksha and one to Kunska. These are temporary licenses to practice. The lieutenant that those are signed by is on an extended leave of absence. They won't accidentally show up to dispute that they signed them. Yeah? Doesn't mean wave them around. Use them if you have to, and that's it. If anyone brings up that they're on this leave of absence, you just explain it happened beforehand.
Aksha understands.
Good.
Question.
What?
May I ask a question?
Go ahead.
How does Southreach regard the use of cursite?
The official position of Southreach is that if you have in your possession an artifact that is powered by or wields or is able to use arcane energies inside of cursite, then that is your object and you are free to use it as long as it does not violate any of our laws. However, I suggest you do not find yourself being detained, as you will not always be getting back all of your cursite. Though I have to say I'm quite surprised to hear there is any with the group of you.
It is a curiosity.
Well, it's not exactly the most populous fall from the Dominion. You see some, yeah, coming in through the guilds, but most of the people who have access to that are not locals.
I am not local.
That's true, I suppose. But you also don't look like the sort of people who would have access to it.
Such is life. Appearances are often deceiving.
I suppose that's true. It's what they tell me. All right. Well, this was nice. Last chance. Anyone have anything they need to get off their chest?
No, I think that this has been a productive meeting.
Good. I happen to agree. Now, kindly do me a favor and get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
Kierna doesn't need telling twice. She's up and she's leaving.
Yeah. Toby does not like this place. Toby is leaving as soon as the door opens.
When Scott during
Actually-
this entire interaction was very fidgety to the point where they were rocking in their chair. They were fiddling with the runes on the table, and finally, almost like they have an issue paying attention to long diatribes by authority figures, just grabs the runes, puts them in the bag, nods to the individual, and says, "If you wish to have a reading, let me know," and leaves.
Alright. And there, I think, is the perfect place for us to leave tonight's episode. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight, both players and viewers. It was an absolute pleasure to have all you guys. I always love playing with you.
Always fun to play, you guys.
All right, so everyone have a good night, and we'll see you next week for a special sit down with myself and one of our players, TBD. Take care.